Well, another Friday is here, which means some new movies are heading into the theaters, and our very own Linda Cook is here to share a couple of them with us as usual. Thank you for being here.
One for families and one not so much.
Not so much. So let's start with that. Another one of the Predator films.
Right. Now, have you followed these like as a kid or?
Yeah, you know, the early ones, not too much with the more recent ones.
Okay, well, you know, the Alien and Predator franchises kind of are joined now. And this is told from the perspective of one of the Predator individuals who wants to be a warrior and whose father doesn't think he has what it takes. So he sets off to be a warrior and runs into I'll call it an android who befriends him. At this point, it becomes kind of a buddy road trip where they're searching for a monster together on this, I will say, inhospitable planet, and that is an understatement.
Yeah.
Everything is dangerous. Everything wants to kill them. So what I liked about this, it's good old-fashioned science fiction. When I was a kid, I grew up on Ray Bradbury and Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, and this is real, true science fiction, not a horror movie, about survival and about meeting different kinds of creatures that you don't expect, right? I thought it was fun. I thought it was fast-paced. There's, at the very end, there's like 2 seconds of dialogue that are absolutely hilarious, which I didn't expect, and the entire audience burst out into laughter along with me. So it has its lighthearted moments. This is rated PG-13, not R. So am I saying take your kids? No, because there's a lot of violence here, but it is not human-driven violence. So that is the difference here. Okay. It's still violent. There's still bloodshed. I would certainly not take a kid to this, but an older, maybe a teenager who's seen the other movies can certainly sit through this. And this just, that last 2 seconds sets up another platform for a sequel.
Okay, so kind of setting it up for what comes next.
A solid movie. A solid movie, 3 out of 4 stars for me.
Okay, not bad, especially for a sequel. So let's go with our next movie, Sarah's Oil.
This is a, I will say, inspired by a true story, not exactly based on a true story, about a little girl. Sarah is 11 years old. Through through a sort of a treaty, she becomes the owner of a great deal of land. And she says, Mama, Daddy, God told me that there is oil in this land. And the father is fairly skeptical, but he finally finds someone who will drill on the land, and wouldn't you know it, it's dry. Or so the drillers say. So there's a little intrigue here. There's a lot about racism here, and I liked that. I thought it was very true to life, how people were treated, and how hard they had to work just to get anywhere. If you want to take your family to this, it's inspirational. It's one of those crowd pleaser movies that seems to be making the rounds of word of mouth, that people are saying, you know, I saw this movie and you should see it too. And if you Google this movie, you will see that it's word of mouth that is getting this movie seen, not particularly marketing. So it is in the theaters. It's worth going to the theater to see. And if you like a good period piece that makes you feel better when you come out than when you went in, this is it. Again, 3 out of 4 stars for this solid movie, which is not a star vehicle. I like movies that have unknown good actors in them.
Yes, more story-driven, certainly.
Yes, and giving other professional actors a chance on the big screen. I like that.
Really important. All right, Linda, thanks so much. We always appreciate you.
Thank you.
Of course. And you can read Linda's full movie reviews on ourquadcities.com.